Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to LMA My Islam Book Part 2. Today our lesson is going to be about Iman. What is Iman? The English word for Iman is faith. The English word for Iman is faith. Before we begin our lesson, we need to understand what does faith means. Faith means to believe in Allah Ta'ala, His angels, His books, His messengers, and on the last day, which is Qiyamah. Allah Ta'ala tells us in an ayah, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and whoever disbelieves in Allah, His angels, His books, His messengers, and on the last day has moved far away from Iman. Today, Ahmad and Asma are going to teach us about how they learned the articles of faith. Ahmad and Asma were sitting in a car with Mom. Mom turned on the radio where the presenter was speaking about the articles of faith. So Ahmad asked, what are the articles of faith? Granny said, one day the Sahaba radiallahu anhum was sitting with Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and a beautiful man appeared and sat in front of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And he said, "O Muhammad, what is faith?" Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, faith is to believe in Allah. Faith is to believe in Allah. To believe in Allah, to believe in Allah's books, and Allah's books is the Quran. To believe in the angels, Allah's angels, to believe in Allah's messengers, and to believe on the last day, which is Qiyamah. The man said, "O Muhammad, you have spoken truthfully." And this man was Jibreel alayhi salam, Allah Ta'ala's angels, who came to teach the Sahaba radiallahu anhum to what are the articles of faith. Granny then said, we as Muslims must believe in the articles of faith. So Granny said, we as Muslims must believe in the articles of faith. Ahmad and Asma are going to teach us today what are the articles of faith. So, one, we believe in Allah, His books, which is the Quran, His angels, His messengers, and on the last day. I am going to tell you a quick story on how Abu Darda radiallahu anhu accepted Islam. Abdullah ibn Rawaha radiallahu anhu went to visit Abu Darda radiallahu anhu. But Abu Darda radiallahu anhu was not at home, and Darda invited Abdullah ibn Rawaha to take a seat in a room to wait for his friend. Abdullah ibn Rawaha radiallahu anhu went into the room where Abu Darda radiallahu anhu kept his idols. He went in and broke all the idols of Abu Darda radiallahu anhu, and he walked away back home. Darda, seeing this, she was very upset and waited for Abu Darda radiallahu anhu to come home. When Abu Darda radiallahu anhu got home, he was very upset and wanted to take revenge. But he said to himself and thought that if this idol was really a god, it would have defended itself. It would have fought back for itself. But it didn't. So Abu Darda radiallahu anhu went with Abdullah ibn Rawaha And Abu Darda radiallahu anhu accepted Islam in the hands of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. What do we learn from the story? We learn that idols are made out of stone. Idols are made out of objects or pictures. Idols are made out of stone, objects, or pictures. And we learn that Allah Ta'ala cannot be seen. But we are dependent on Allah Ta'ala, and Allah Ta'ala is independent. Today we are going to recap on what we learned that Ahmad and Asma had taught us. We learned that Iman is faith, and we as Muslims must believe in the articles of faith. The articles of faith is to believe in Allah, Allah's books, Allah's angels, to believe in the messengers, and on the last day of Qiyamah.
The kitab we are using is called My Islam Book 2, which is available from LMA.
That's it for today's lesson. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.